We finally got our first look at Kingsley Suamataia playing inside on the offensive line, and I want to talk about it. Luckily, so did good old Caleb James from Arrowhead Pride in an article titled, "On Sunday, Kingsley Suamataia showed he could have a future as a Chiefs guard," subtitled, "Against Denver in the season finale, Kansas City's rookie offensive lineman showed what he could do on the inside," once again by Caleb James. In the article, we get these details. The second-round rookie played 30 snaps at left guard alongside DJ Humphries at left tackle. It was the first time Suamataia had lined up along the interior in an NFL game. In 23 snaps as a pass protector, he allowed only 2 pressures, looking increasingly comfortable as the game progressed. I got that feeling as well. I do think that he had a little bit more trouble maybe diagnosing stunts and things from the inside than he had previously at offensive tackle. At offensive tackle, I thought that really the big thing was just the speed rushers. Maybe the pass rushers in general. Trey Hendrickson is not exactly a 4-3 guy, but he is a guy that gave a lot of offensive tackles problems this year to the tune of 14 sacks during the course of the season, wrecking the Steelers for 3, only hit Kingsley Suamataia for 2. So I think that Trey Hendrickson perhaps an exception to the rule, but he did have notable problems versus speed on the outside. On the inside, I didn't notice that, but I did notice that he had problems passing people off, and I thought that maybe the hands were a little bit worse on the inside. I think that he has the power. I think that part of what that is with the hand work is that there's a little bit more of a rough area inside where defensive linemen are trying to get around you, as opposed to at offensive tackle, it's either past you deep or they have to cut and get back under you. But I thought that overall at guard he looked pretty good. The article itself continues, moving to the inside. In 165 previous snaps at left tackle, Suamataia had struggled mightily, turning in lackluster performances against the Cincinnati Bengals and Broncos. When a young offensive lineman moves inside from tackle, it's often because they've had trouble going against speedy edge rushers. That's exactly where Suamataia found himself by early November. Since then, the team appears to have lost confidence in him as a tackle, but that did open the door for Sunday's stint at guard. And while Suamataia has things to work out on the inside, his initial film looks encouraging. I think that's maybe a little bit rough. Have the Kansas City Chiefs lost confidence in him at tackle, or has Kingsley Suamataia lost his confidence? I think that probably it's a little bit of both. I think that Andy Reid is going to be the type of coach who offers Kingsley Suamataia the ability to move back to offensive tackle. He looked all right up until that Bengals game. That tells me probably it is a crisis of confidence. That tells me that probably he got worked over and roughed up and did not know if he could do it at the NFL level. Without adding into the equation that, like we said earlier, Trey Hendrickson has made a career of doing just that to different offensive tackles around the league. The tools that he has, that Kingsley Suamataia has, are still left tackle tools. Is this... Now, I will ask you this. It's disappointing that Kingsley Suamataia is not currently the starting left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is disappointing. You will not get an argument against that from me. However, when you recognize that the expectation for Kingsley Suamataia to be the starting left tackle sprang forth from training camp and was not really there before, you start to get a different bit of a handle on things. Kingsley, if you had told me when Kingsley was drafted that he would not be starting at the left tackle position heading into the playoffs, I would have thought, no problem. Yeah, makes sense. If you had told me he might be in the running to replace Trey Smith at right guard, I would have thought, yeah, maybe. That makes sense. If you had told me that he would have started the season as the left tackle and ended the season as the potential replacement to Trey Smith, I don't know that I would have believed you. So it's been a rough ride for Kingsley thus far. The article itself continues. Where are we? Sorry. In 2024, in 2024, the Broncos have had one of the league's best defensive lines, and with a playoff spot on the line, their starters played the whole game. Among those starters was Zach Allen, who is regarded as one of the NFL's better defensive tackles. He's a formidable opponent against any player. Suamataia came out strong, battling Allen through 3 full quarters. These things translate, and you have to look no further than his buddy, Joe Thuney, to understand that's true. Joe Thuney excels at offensive guard, is being asked to play left tackle by the Kansas City Chiefs currently. Joe Thuney, elite guard, can play left tackle. Kingsley Suamataia is being now prepared to play offensive guard. If he gets through a season at offensive guard, I think you're starting to look at him as an offensive tackle again. Sometimes what it is a matter of getting those reps. I want to bring this up again. 6'5". That is every bit as tall as you have to be an offensive tackle, a left tackle in the NFL. 326 pounds, right up there. 10 5/8 inch hands, good size for hands. 34 1/4 inch arms, absolutely, that's what you need. A 5.0 40 is right next to elite. A 1.74 10-yard split, very, very good. 110 broad jump, 86%. And a 28-inch vertical 49th percentile. This season, during the course of his rookie year, he played in 15 games, starting with 195 offensive snaps and 66 special teams snaps. So he did not get a bevy of work during his rookie season, but he did see action. He was on special teams. He was a contributor. He did have 2 starts. So I wanted to pull up some PFF rankings and look at things, some PFF scores, ratings, grades, and look at them. Kingsley Suamataia has a 39.4 overall grade, a 30.5 pass blocking grade, and a 48.9 run blocking grade. Not great stuff, to say the least. However, context is needed to put these numbers into some real digestible format. Joe Thuney has a 79.9 overall grade, 50 points higher than that of Kingsley Suamataia. He has an 81.9 pass blocking grade, 52 points higher than Kingsley. He has a 73.5 run blocking grade, neighborhoods away from Kingsley Suamataia. You're not hoping Kingsley to replace Joe Thuney right now? Well, let's move down the scale a little bit. What about the Kansas City Chiefs' current right tackle, a guy who has taken a lot of guff this year? Has a 59.9 overall rating, just 20 points better than Kingsley Suamataia. Part of that is going to be the laws of large numbers. The more Kingsley had played, the higher I think his draft or his ratings would have gone. Taylor has a 70.8 in the run blocking game. That's 50 points, 40 points right there. That's a big deal. But that was a pass blocking, pardon me. The run blocking grade, Taylor has a 56.6, just 7 points away from Kingsley Suamataia with a 48.9, basically a 49. So, on the overall, should Kingsley be able to improve his pass blocking rating, that would go a long ways towards getting him up to at least Jawaan Taylor ratings. But let's go a little bit deeper in Kansas City lore. Let's look at Orlando Brown, the guy who wanted out. Orlando Brown went on to play for the Bengals, of course. A 58.2 overall grade. Not even 20 points higher than the rookie, Kingsley Suamataia. A 69.5 run blocking grade. Coming out of college, this was what everyone thought would be Orlando Brown's forte, was the run blocking. When he ran that 19-second 40-yard dash, everyone's hopes were well dashed. Orlando Brown had a 69.5 pass blocking rating. I switched those up again, didn't I? Doesn't matter. 69.5 pass blocking rating. That is 39 points better than Kingsley Suamataia. And Orlando Brown had a 49.7 run blocking grade, which is just 0.8 of a point better than Kingsley Suamataia coming out of college his first year in the NFL. Are these numbers promising for Kingsley Suamataia? Probably not. He does have the measurables. He seems to have his head on straight, so long as this is not just a crisis of character, crisis of confidence. But he does seem like a guy who can turn things around. The NFL is full of players who have been an offensive guard and now play tackle. I probably shouldn't say full. It's not the biggest number of guys. It's not a huge reservoir, but it does happen. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl with a guy like that, a guy who, by the way, was not even drafted. Would it be disappointing if Kingsley Suamataia takes over at offensive guard for Trey Smith? I think so. I think it would be. Would it be devastating? No. Here's why. Would it be disappointing that Kingsley was taking over at the guard position for Trey Smith? Yes, but he does not have to play tackle right now. His NFL career is, as the article points out, he is just 22 years old. He is likely to have a long and illustrious career in the NFL. If that means starting off at offensive guard and transitioning to offensive tackle, the moment you feel comfortable doing so, the moment you think you can pull it off, that means the team that holds you still has an actual answer somewhere. That is the big deal with throwing out a second-round pick on someone like Kingsley Suamataia. He will, in my opinion, become a starter somewhere on the offensive line. I think we are able to hold out hope that that place is at offensive tackle. That is what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.